Evelyn, can you just start out by saying and spelling your first and last name, please?
Evelyn Fox, Evelyn Fox.
And your son is Kiesingar Gunn.
Yes,
His birthday's coming up, May 2nd.
May 2nd.
Tell us about that. How do you think you'd be marking his birthday, especially in this crazy world we're living in right now, if Kissinger was still around?
I think that's what's compounding um, the emotions, like the emotions of like it's already a difficult day leading up to the day, and I'm just learning how to celebrate his life without him being here. Um, so it's always like a sad day but also a happy day because he loved his birthday. Like he would plan a gathering for his birthday months in advance and make sure that the entire family was there and have a whole plan. um like he loved life, so celebrating everybody's birthday was a big thing for him. And he's going to be 30 this year, so it should have been a really big celebration. But now that I can't even celebrate it with my extended family, it's, I don't know, it's just making it worse. But my sister actually just text messaged me and said that we should do like a Zoom type thing so that we can all celebrate him together, which I think is a good idea. But I don't know how I'll be on the day of his actual birthday because I get really emotional. Last year, we had all the kids write notes to him and attached it to balloons, and we released the balloons. And one of my grandson, who is Kissinger's only son, it got stuck in the tree, and he was like so upset about it, and we had to make him write another one to release it. So like we try to do that every year, but this year we can't even do that. I can't even spend time with my grandkids for his birthday. So
How old are his kids now?
his oldest child, she just turned 10 in January. So this year is actually a big year for birthdays. So she just turned 10. His son turned 9, and his youngest two are going to be 5 each. So, like, my youngest daughter is also going to be 16. My oldest daughter has her champagne birthday. Like, he would have been just going crazy with the birthdays this year.
Especially being a birthday guy.
Right, right. Like if you had known him, he was just so full of life. It didn't matter what was going on in his life. He was always the boisterous, fun person. And he had like a really big personality. So when you entered the room, he entered the room, you knew he was there because he was always laughing or making a joke or whatever. So it's very different now.
You mentioned on Twitter that emotions in your house are exploding right now. Tell me
Hmm.
about that. Who's in your house, and what did you mean by that?
So my house is myself, my oldest daughter, my son, my youngest daughter, and my granddaughter. So my oldest daughter and I was just having this conversation with another mother on Twitter, is that we all grieve in different stages at different times. And my younger son, he deals with a lot of anger. So and when he's angry, everybody in the house knows, and you get like a really uneasy feeling, and you try and support each other, but it's very difficult. Whereas I get more um, sad and kind of withdrawn and seclude myself. But and same with my older daughter. Like my older daughter's been sleeping in the living room with my son's urn because she feels more comfortable being around him. So it's just very, and it happens during all significant dates, but especially around his birthday, because everybody knows that it would have been a big deal for him.
And you got to face it.
Right.
You got to face this reality again. It's not a day that you can push it aside, right?
Right. Like his birthday and September 11th are the worst days. And September 11th, like I wish I could just take it right off the calendar. Like I for a few weeks I can't even function.
You talked about how online you talked about how the last hours of his life were consuming you these
Yeah.
days leading up. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, from the time I get up in the morning to the time I go to my bed, it's like on constant repeat. So I'll, like, right from the time that my best friend and my goddaughter came to my door at 4 o'clock in the morning, like it woke me up out of my sleep to the point where, like, I thought I was dreaming the doorbell and then pounding on the door. And then my goddaughter was standing at the door and said to me that we have to go because Kiesingar had been shot. And I, like, the things that roll through your mind when you're in a panic are just ridiculous. Like that, I you think the most random things. Like I was supposed to be going to work in the morning, and I kept saying, "Oh well, I have." In my mind, I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, I have to go to work. What do I do?" And but at the same time, I'm getting dressed, and I'm like, should I take a shower first? Like, oh my gosh, what if I take a shower and he dies before I get to the hospital? Like, just the weirdest things roll through your mind. And I ended up calling work, and the first person that I uttered the words that my son got shot was to my coworker. So, but it's it just replays over and over, like from the doctor telling me that he wasn't going to survive to walking through where he was and seeing like it was just full of police officers. And then when the doctor brought me from the room where they were holding my family and me to Kiesingar, all I kept thinking is, God, let it be a mistake. Like, let it be a mistake. Like, even though I knew it was him, I kept praying that please let it be somebody else. Please let it be somebody else. And then when I saw him, they had a towel across his face because he was shot through his left eye. And it ricocheted through the left side of his brain and severed an artery at the back of his neck. So they had the towel, but all day long, I was wiping blood from his face that was streaming from the wound, his nose, his ears, his mouth, and just cleaning his face off so that when people, because there was a steady flow of people coming into the hospital to say their last goodbyes to him. I just didn't want them to be as traumatized as I was. And it was my last opportunity to still be his mother and to take care of him, right? Like the nurses were amazing. They didn't, you know, they didn't intervene. They didn't do it, like tell me to not touch him or whatever. They were very good. But I also was in there when they were cleaning his wound too, right? So like the entire thing is just, it was extremely traumatizing. Like it's bad enough when you see it and it's not somebody you love, but when it's somebody you love, it's just like I, there's nothing that I could have done or been trained with that would make it any easier.
And those are the moments that are haunting you these days leading up to his birthday.
They they always do because I have post traumatic stress disorder because of the whole situation. It I always have the thoughts, but it's like now I can't push them out. Like usually I can push them out with something, some memory or something else, but it's like they're just taking over. I can't push them out right now.
Let's talk a little bit about the investigation because we're hoping that this conversation will spark something in that regard. First, why is it so important for you to get that arrest in this case? Will that help you in some way, you think?
I don't it's not going to change anything in terms of how I feel. I just it's I think it's more about getting rid of the anger. Like this person shattered my entire family and obviously feels no remorse whatsoever. So I like the thought of him being still on the street with the capability to do something like this to someone else's family is like I can't live with that. That's not, and my son deserves justice. He was a good person. Like, the how do you go about your day and continue to live life like you didn't just take someone's life and basically kill an entire family, and you get to celebrate your birthdays, you get to have all those family gatherings at Christmas time and all the rest of the holidays, while my family is never going to be the same. Like, that's not right. I don't understand how somebody can just keep living life like they didn't just take someone's life. Like, how do you not feel remorse for that? Like, at first I felt bad for him, thinking, his when his family finds out that he killed somebody, how's his mother gonna feel? Like, I kept thinking about his mother, and how's it his mother gonna feel? Like, he didn't just tear apart my family, he's gonna tear apart his family. So I think it's more about getting justice for my son and not having someone else be subject to him as well.
So
And
what would you say to him then? If he's watching this, that shooter, what would you say to him? What
I've
would you
already
do?
said, in like at the reward, when they were issuing the reward, with the police, I had said to him that, if he has any remorse, that he should turn himself in and take responsibility for his actions. But here we are, almost a full 2 years after that, and he still hasn't turned himself in. So he doesn't care. He does. There's nothing I could say to him that would make him care. And I feel bad for his mother. I really do, because we as mothers put our blood, sweat, and tears into our children to make sure that they become good people. And I can't imagine what his mother's gonna feel once she finds out.
But here we are, almost 2 years after that. This shooter has been thinking about it for almost 2 years more. Maybe he hasn't put it out of his mind. Maybe something will change now. And not just him, but investigators say that he had been inside the club before the shooting, that several people knew who he was in there, and that some of those people may have even seen the shooting. This means that there are several people who know who was there that night and who likely know who killed your son.
Yeah.
And more than two or almost 2 years have passed since that
Well,
reward was announced.
it's coming on to the third year. So yeah, the third year. So September will be the third year that this has been outstanding. And that's why I am so visible on social media, and I try and speak to the media as much as possible, because I don't want people to forget. I want to be able to reach that one person who's sitting on the edge of coming forward and just, needs a bit of strength or reassurance to come forward, because it's not him that's going to come forward. It's going to be the person who has it weighing on their chest and is unsure about coming forward and how it will impact their life. Like, yes, I understand that people are scared to come forward, or they don't want to. It's the ego too, right, of being called a snitch and whatever. But when it comes to people dying and people being killed, that there shouldn't be any ego behind it. There should be none. Like, that's when all bets are off. You know what I mean? It's not it's not a crime of survival. It doesn't make sense.
Speak to that person right now, Evelyn. What do you want to say to that person who knows something?
I'm just praying that you find the strength to come forward. I know it's difficult, and things that are right in life are, you have to make difficult decisions to be a leader, and to not follow the crowd, and to do your own thing. And I know that it's difficult to do the right thing, especially when it comes to a homicide. But this could have been you. This could have been your family asking for help from the people that were outside that club and witnessed my son shooting. It could have been your family. And you would expect my son to come forward and do the right thing for your family. So I'm just praying that whoever it is that witnessed my son's murder to please come forward. That like I if like I will advocate for you on with the police to ensure your safety and to ensure that you as a witness are treated fairly. So I mean, I really hope that someone will come forward.
Me too. Thank you, Evelyn. Is there anything else
Thank
you'd
you.
like to add?
Not that I can think of.
Thank you. So you had said that this will have changed what was the happiest day of your life to one of the worst days. Tell me about that.
So when Kissinger was born, I was 18. So I was a mother to him majority of my life. And like before I had him, I didn't care about life. Like I was reckless and I just was not in a good place. And this little person just changed my life completely. Like he taught me how to love. Like honestly, he was the first person I have ever loved in my life. And it was so unconditional. And he just made me happy. He was my best accomplishment in life. Like you I was learning how to be an adult when I had him. So we kind of grew together and we ended up having a very good relationship when he turned into an adult. So like I mean, I made mistakes as a parent and I there's stuff that I wish I could have done differently. And then he always used to joke about that with my younger two kids because they're like 14 years apart. And he'd always be like, "Mommy, like why how come you're so soft with these kids?" And I'm like, "Listen, I learned my lesson. You taught me that um, certain things that I did with you, you didn't appreciate them, and I'm trying to do them differently with the younger two." And he's like, "Oh my god, like we got ripped off, Kiki." Like,
He was the test drive,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like he always used to make fun of me and tell me I'm getting soft in my old age, and so like he was just I love him. Like I really love him. He was just so fun, and he was just it's like to watch him with his kids was just so amazing. He was such a beautiful father. Like it makes me sad that now he tried his hardest to not repeat the cycle the way his dad abandoned him, right? So he tried his hardest to change the things he didn't like about my parenting and the fact that his dad abandoned him. He didn't want his children to have to feel what he felt, and like it was just he was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. If one kid wanted spaghetti one night and the other wanted tacos, like he would make everybody different meals.
Oh my god.
Yes, like he would come from home from work, go shopping, ask them what they want, and come home and then make them all these different meals. So like he was just awesome.
Patient,
Absolutely.
loving.
Yes. And everything was hilarious. Like anything the kids did, he thought was just so hilarious. Whereas we're sitting down here brewing because, oh my gosh, like what would make you think to do that? But he thought it was just the best thing ever. So
I love that.
yeah.
He was full of love, full of life, and you just saying how he taught you what love is.
Yes.
I think any parent can relate to that.
Yes.
Because your world just changes.
That's right.
There's no love like it.
No, there really isn't. There really isn't.
All right. No. Thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course.